Yo, like, comment.
Yes, sir.
That's my baby. That's my baby.
We're going at it at 110%.
I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
And they scored! They did it!
Left, feet left.
What the hell was that?
Oh, yeah!
What the fuck are you talking about?
What is going on, everybody? It's been a long week. It's been a long day, but here we are. We have a lot to talk about. A lot have happened with the Eagles since the last time we talked. Last time we talked, we left off with the show. Who are we gonna draft with the 6th pick? Who's it gonna be? Are we gonna trade up, get a quarterback, trade back, get some picks? That's probably the smartest way to go. Or are we just gonna stay and get either Chase, Pitts, or Devontae Smith? Well, since the last time we talked, Howie and Jeff, it's the Howie and Jeff show, Dumb and Dumber. They decided to restructure Slay. They decided to restructure Kelce. Kelce announced he's coming back. That gives me a little bit of hope that this season won't be completely lost. I'm not all for tanking in the NFL. I've never been about tanking really in any sport. I didn't really like what the Sixers did, although it did give us Ben and Joe. But apparently there was some talk that the Eagles were going to try and tank, and I'm not for that. Already we got a Cowboy fan in the saying, "Let's go Cowboys." You just signed Cripple. You signed Cripple to a max.
Oh, no.
What happens? Anyway, going back to my point. They decided to restructure Slay. I thought Slay was going to be a casualty, but it looks like he's going to be sticking around. Jason Kelce's going to be coming back to this dumpster fire, so that shows to me that there has to be a little bit of optimism, and that goes right into the poll question of the day, and that is, there should be a little bit more optimism for the Eagles with Howie already adjusting veteran contracts. Agree or disagree? First of all, Evan, how you doing today?
Doing good, Jimmy.
How was the week?
It's been a decent week for Philly sports, but also it had its real lows, like the Sixers yesterday with the COVID and all that. But
Barbershop-Gate.
How are you, Jimmy? You look stressed.
Well, the Flyers just blew me yesterday, not in a good way. They need a defenseman. They need a grinder. I really don't want this season to go to waste. They need to get to the top 4 seed or the top 4 of the East. We do have a tough conference or a division. I'm hoping something can be made. We'll talk about that later in the show, what the Flyers can do to figure out what's going on. I still have all the faith in the world in AV. I still think it's between him and Doc for the best coach in the city. But AV, he needs to get a little bit more respect, and I think he will turn it around with the help of Chuck Fletcher. Hopefully Fletcher adds a defenseman. I'm thinking maybe Chalmerson from where does he play? I'm drawing a blank. From the Coyotes. He was with the Blackhawks during the whole run, 2 or 3 championships. I'm not really sure off the top of my head, but the Coyotes, they're down in the West, so maybe they're looking to sell. I saw that Chalmerson has, I think, 1 year left on his contract. I think he will be. I think he would be a great fit for this D. Yep. And I'd be totally willing to give up Sanheim or Phil Myers in that, because them two together, they're suspect. Yeah, they're suspect.
Yep.
But
they're good on offense, but we have a lot of offensive-minded defensive players. I think that's a little bit of an issue where we don't have that set guy that will play defense and get the stops we need. And I'm seeing a lot this year, just the offensive-minded defensive players. It's good for scoring, but not when you're losing 7-3. That's not going to help.
Yeah, Brian. I Ekholm is a good name from the Predators too. The Predators have a lot of defensemen on the older side, which would really help out this roster. I really do believe that they're one veteran defenseman away and one grinder away from actually being a contender this year. My day sucked, Evan. I'm just gonna be totally upfront with that,
dude. We're just spill it out. Spill it out for the people.
As some people know, I don't know if a lot of you know, I deliver packages for Amazon as a side. I do that. I go to school and I do this. I decided to call out last week on Wednesday. I just needed a little breather, and I didn't get the memo that if you were to call out, they just stick it right up you the next week that you come back in. Yesterday sucked. Today sucked. Didn't get back until 9 o'clock tonight. Left at 8 a.m. this morning. And all I had to hear all day was just people just complaining about the Eagles. I wanted to have a good show about the Eagles. Sprinkle a little bit of optimism with the Eagles because I thought the fact that Jason Kelce wants to come back to this dumpster fire, it really says something that maybe, just maybe, they're not going to just throw the season away. Nope. They're not just going to cut their veterans. The fact of the matter is the smartest thing to do is put everything you can into building around Jalen Hurts for this season. Because this is the make or break season for Jalen Hurts. You need to come back with a strong offensive line. Hopefully Brandon Brooks comes back healthy. Hopefully Lane Johnson comes back healthy. Yep. We already have Kelce coming back for his, I don't know if it's last year. He's been doing this every year since we won the Super Bowl.
And most likely will be.
Yeah. And then you have Salem Alou at left guard, which he is what he is. And then you have either Mulata or Dillard. Now, if Sewell is there from Oregon at 6, you take him. Because if that happens, and then you put Mulata at the swing, maybe teach him how to play a little bit of guard. Because I've seen him play rugby. I know a thing or two about rugby. He's a freak athlete, Jordan Mulata. I think he can transfer to play an offensive guard position. I think he could fulfill any position on the offensive line with the right teaching. He filled in as one of the hardest positions in the league at left tackle, and he held his own. He held his own.
He really did. Yep, he was definitely one of the top Eagles this year. But back to the thing where there are people saying we should just tank or we're going to tank. It's not in Jalen Hurts' blood. You saw it last year. Jalen Hurts was pissed when he got taken out of that game against the Redskins. He was pissed off, and it's just not in his game for us to be tanking. You know, and I don't know. It's just like it should be like that for every athlete. You know, like you don't want to be stuck in a rebuild and tank. Like it's not fun. It's not fun. It's not fun for the fans. It's not fun for the players, and it's just a bad look on the city. Except for the Sixers, when the Sixers did it, Adam Silver didn't like it, but we still did it. And look at the team we have now. Like
they put an end to it. They brought in the Colangelos and the Colangelos with their wives just doing Twitter shit, fake accounts, burner accounts, talking shit on our players. Adam Silver put an end to it. It's just something icky, just something just so bad about tanking that it just doesn't vibe with me. The Jets have been doing it since I don't even know how long. Before we were born.
Yeah.
the Browns finally figured it out after 25 years. The Jaguars, they've been what they've been. They had a good defense a few years ago that brought them to a conference championship game, but they haven't done anything. Like all these teams that just lose on purpose, it's not that they lose on purpose. It's that they tried to go into a tank mode and it just completely blew up in their face because you can't tank in the NFL. I've been trying to say that to you for 2 or 3 years. I've been trying to say that to a lot of people. Tanking
in the NBA, you can in the NBA, but you can't. It's a lot more difficult to do it.
You're trying to tell 52 players on the roster. You're trying to tell 20-something coaches on the roster, hey, you're going to lose on purpose. The NFL, there's not a long shelf life in the NFL. The average NFL career lasts, 3 years? 4 years, maybe?
It's not that. It's not as much as the NBA. Definitely not.
Greg, I'm not saying that the poll is not anything about Howie Roseman being a good GM. It's about showing a little bit more optimism that we're not going to just try to lose this year. It's just not going to be, we're just going to lose 3 games. We're just going to lose 4 games. We're going to get another top 10 pick. No, that wasn't that's not what we're trying to say. What I'm trying to say is the fact that Jason Kelce decided to restructure his contract and come back for another season to us, pending he gets traded, which I don't think he will get traded. Pending any of that, I think there's a little bit of room to have a little faith. What if Jalen Hurts is what they told us he was? The next Russell Wilson. It's just that.
And like I said, like the last million podcasts we had, you gotta, he's your QB1 now. and it was pretty much set in stone almost today when our own owner said it. I just think we should just believe in the kid because you're putting him down. He hasn't had a full season, like you said. He hasn't had a full line. Didn't have any notable weapons last year, but he might add one in this draft. So you just got to give him a chance.
Yeah, Dave, we all know how I feel about Jalen Hurts. I've said it 5 billion times. He can't throw the football when he gets a spy on him. He can't throw the football after his first read is covered. But we ran this guy out of town. So
take that off. Wait.
So he
take that off.
I was scared to put on a shirt. I was scared.
He hasn't taken that off since the trade.
Bro, what is it? 10 more days and 9 more days until I could get my Wentz Colts jersey. Very excited. I'm very excited for that. Very excited for that.
He's gonna tear his knee first week.
Oh my god.
We're not gonna get a third.
Why would you say that?
Why? I hope he doesn't.
Because if he does that, then we don't get our first round pick next year.
No, I'm not praying on his downfall.
Yeah, you are.
I mean, that's great.
A lot of people are praying on his downfall. Yeah, I don't think Hurts is good, but if you build a good team around him, the offensive line, if you keep the offensive line around, which, Jason Kelce just basically said he's coming back one more year.
Which I don't know why. Like Jason Kelce, you got to give a lot of respect to that guy. A lot of respect to. He just had his daughter just a week ago, and now he's going back to the shit show. He's coming back to the shit show for another year just to get thumb injuries, play through injuries all year, like he has been for the last few years. Like, who would want to come back to the shit show?
Look, Carson and I had a metaphorical marriage a couple months ago.
That's very true. Wow.
he doesn't know my name, but I look at Carson this way, and I don't want to talk about Carson, but Jake, you brought it out of me. I look at Carson Wentz, and I see a guy that brought us the Super Bowl 2 years into his career at the age of 23, 24 years old, when our fucking franchise absolutely blew for how many years? How many years did my grandparents have to go through it? How many years did my parents have to go through it?
Yep.
How many years did my great-grandparents have to go through it? I'm still blessed.
They were good in the 60s. They were good in the 60s.
They had one championship in 1960.
Hey, that was more than we had in 52 years. So
this franchise was born in 1933. We had a championship in 48. We had a championship in 60. And then we had a fucking Super Bowl in 2018. This guy, Carson Wentz, he played elite football in his second year. And then his backup quarterback came in and won the Super Bowl for us, which I am forever grateful for. But winning that Super Bowl is going to be this franchise's downfall for the next 25 years unless something is done this offseason. Now, as somebody who has been an optimist for every single fucking team since the day I could talk, I've been optimistic about this city and their sports. Now, what the Eagles did over the past 3-4 years, it's just come all at me at once, and these past few months have been rough. They've been rough to try and stick it out.
For you with that trade, but I know.
And yes, I am an Eagles fan before I'm a Carson Wentz fan.
Yeah,
I'm just saying there was just a lot of shit that went down for this franchise that just hurt. And I'm still ride or die. I'm gonna be with the Eagles until Howie Roseman or Jeffrey Lurie sells the team and they relocate. Which that has been in the back of my mind just so we could stop talking about this pitiful organization. But as long as they're in the city, I'm with them. As long as they're selling tickets, I'm going.
Yep, I agree.
So that's me and the ex-girlfriend.
That's a little Eagles spiel for everybody.
Yeah.
It's
Tom
are you wow. Yeah, I kind of agree that. I was watching a few with Tom's videos and stuff. Yeah, he just kind of you guys are like the same person. You guys are like the same person. So
I take
So when
that as a
I'm
compliment.
roasting you, I'm pretty much roasting Tom at the same time. It's
I
okay.
take that as a compliment because Tom's my guy. I appreciate Tom a lot. Mariah, the poll is there should be a little more optimism for the Eagles with Howie already adjusting veteran contracts. I think there's more contracts to come. I think that what you touched on it a little bit today, what Lori said, he wants to build around Jalen. I think that was a ploy. I think that whole conversation was a ploy. He taught. I think Mortensen spilled it out that Jeffrey Lurie's basically telling Sirianni, he's telling all of the scouts, he's telling Howie that it's time to build around Jalen. I think that's a ploy to just cover their fucking asses with the pitiful draft picks that they've had over the past 3 years. I think it's a ploy. I think he's saying, look, they could try and run you, Howie Roseman, out of town. They could try to run you, Nick Sirianni, out of town. They could try and say that Deuce Staley was the one that should have gotten this job, which I 100% agree. I think Deuce, now that I'm thinking about it, I really wanted Deuce to get this job, but that's in the past.
Yep.
What Jeffrey Lurie said today, that's showing me that he wants people to trust Howie Roseman. He wants people to think that himself, Jeffrey Lurie, made all those horrible picks. What are you going to do? You're going to run the owner out of town? No. The only way you could get the owner out of town is if he sells the fucking team. So he's putting all the blame on his back. He's trying to get trust back in Howie Roseman so that him and Howie Roseman can start running the team again with a little bit of faith. You're not fooling me. You're not fooling me, Jeffrey Lurie. You're not fooling me, Howie Roseman. You both suck, and you both are the ones that are making the decisions for this franchise. And it's sad.
And a 3 years of bad drafting can really set a team back years. It really can. I feel like a lot of people don't understand that because we talk about all the time the players we could have had the last 3 years. Those players could have been impactful players for the next 5-6 years. So
yeah.
It's like whenever I talk about Jimmy about Wentz, I feel like it's just everybody else is attacking me. But I got like the majority of Twitter on my side a few weeks ago. I don't know about you.
No, they were going at both of us.
Against us both.
I cleared the air for you, bud. They thought both of us were saying that shit.
Yeah,
I stand by that. I stand by it because I'm taking my chances with Carson being elite over the next 10 years and giving us more Super Bowls than what we have right now. I'll sell you 52. I'll sell you Super Bowl 52 to get a little bit more.
Gambling man.
Oh, talk about gambling man. I'm all over the place tonight. But you want to know why else I had a bad day today? UFC 250, what was it? 257? 259?
Yep. I think it's 257 or
257. Yeah. I put down $15 on a 3-leg parlay. I put down Nunez.
Let me guess, you had two?
I put down Nunez, I put down Polish Power, and I put down fucking Jan.
Wow, really? Dude,
Jan.
That knee was pretty disgusting. It was 259. Okay.
I told you.
It was disgusting, but that guy was on the ground. Sterling was on the ground he was good. That guy, Jan was getting pretty frustrated.
Dude, it was the whole fucking match. Sterling was on
the ground.
He looked like he had no business fighting the fucking the champion. He had no business being in there. That's what it looked like the whole time.
One of the guys one of the judges said that it was like 2-1. Sterling was up or something like that. It was like something insane.
You want to talk about he was selling it. He sold it. He got kneed in the fucking head. You know how many times I got a knee to the head? I had a little headache after. I was on the ground for a little bit. I had my eyes shut a little bit, but I got right up. I didn't sell it for 45 fucking minutes and throw a fucking temper tantrum saying, "Oh, I didn't want to win this way." Dude, you had no business being in that ring, and you cost me $169. I put down a $15 fucking bet. I had all 3 legs won, and then fucking Jan had to put a knee through Sterling's head, and then Sterling had to sell it down the fucking river.
Jimmy, let me ask you a question real quick. Working all those hours today, do you still want to gamble off that money? Is it worth it? Is it worth it, Jimmy?
No, dude. John. Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
Conor McGregor.
Dude, I
like Conor McGregor more than I like Carson Wentz.
Dustin Poirier was gonna win. I told you that.
Dude,
Then he got.
It's been a rough couple months. Conor McGregor. I look at Conor McGregor the same way I look at Carson Wentz. Conor was the one that brought me into the UFC. I'm a fan of the UFC because of Conor McGregor. I'm one of those guys, and I'm only 50% Irish.
Yeah,
50.
And
I'm 50.
That guy's a pioneer to you. He really made UFC what it is now, and it's becoming America. It's becoming very, very more. It's like year by year, it's becoming more popular. It's probably becoming more popular than baseball. Like, who actually goes to baseball games anymore?
Yeah,
the Phillies can't even get in half the stadium filled.
All right, Jordan. Sorry, we got a little off track. We'll go back to the Eagles. We were talking about how they restructured Kelce, they restructured Slay. I am not okay with the Brooks trade rumors.
No way.
I know
unless we can get Sewell and move somebody over or something.
Put a lot of that
I don't like that. And especially since Brooks has shown us, dude was like 3 months after he tore his ACL, he's doing box jumps. Like, he's a beast.
Yeah.
He's been getting hurt almost every year though for the last 3 years. So I guess that could be kind of red flag.
Yeah.
But Brandon, he's been good to us. So I don't think he deserves to be traded.
I don't think we should trade him because you need everything you can get to surround Jalen Hurts with good pieces around him. And who's going to be your right guard if you trade him?
Yeah,
Jamone Brown, Suria Peta.
It's gonna be funny. We're gonna have 4 tackles on the front line. We're gonna have 4 tackles on the front line. 4 or 3 left tackles, and it's gonna be pretty funny. I don't know. I would switch Dillard over, to be honest.
He sucks.
Dude, he hasn't played too much. He hasn't played that much.
It's just he sucks. He's so weak. He's weak emotionally. He cried in training camp his rookie year.
Listen.
Derek Barnett made him cry.
Listen, Jimmy. Listen. You gotta listen.
Go.
Brandon Brooks has anxiety. He still does it all.
Lane Johnson can't lay off the juice.
Yeah, dude, we can say
Jason Kelce's too small.
Dude, Jason Kelce's too small. Andre Dillard's too small.
Jason Peters is too old.
He's coming back.
Dude,
he's coming back this season.
If Jason Peters comes back this year and he is on that starting line, I don't even want to say it. Because I know I'm still gonna watch. I know I'm still gonna be diehard.
Yeah,
but
dude, it's okay. He'll be off every third play with a groin injury or some sort of injury to his arms. He'll only play half the season, pretty much. But he'll play every game, but he'll only play half the snaps.
I'm disgusted.
We actually might bring him back.
What is happening? We went into this show trying to bring a little bit of light onto the Eagles 2021 season because they restructured Slay, but then every corner that you round, it's like you finally found the yellow brick road, and then shit starts coming at you. Jason Peters is coming back. Fucking Brandon Brooks. Oh, he's not even going to be able to stay healthy. Oh, we'll just trade him. Why? Dude, this Eagles team, it hurts. No pun intended.
No pun intended.
It hurts, dude.
Hey, I'm going to go for a hot take. I know Tom's been roasting people out here. He's been giving shit to everybody who said the Eagles will not make the playoffs. I'm not going to say the Eagles will. I think the Eagles will be at least second. I think they pull off something crazy this
in the division.
Yeah,
who's going to win?
It's a shitty division, so
who's going to win? The Cowboys?
Maybe. I think we just miss out on a wild card spot, to be honest.
Well, the extra team makes it, right?
We still have an extra team. I think that was just last year. I thought.
I don't know. There was a lot of COVID bullshit. I know they're adding an extra game.
Yeah. Yep. And you know what they should have done? They should have had that Colts versus Eagles. That would have been very nice. But
that's next season, 2022.
Yeah. But the thing was, if they were to add at the Colts would have been already in the playoffs, and Carson Wentz probably wouldn't have been playing. So and then we would have been trying to play them and getting going up in the rankings to get a worse pick.
Yeah.
Just like last year.
What's up, Adam? What's up, Pete? I don't know. Apparently Dillard's the future. Apparently he was ranked 12th, or no, I'm sorry, that was Herbig.
Yep.
PFF is just a bunch of like bogus, in my opinion. I think that's just a bunch of guys who look at the stat sheet after the game. They put 2 and 2 together. They don't watch with their eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if you look at PFF, apparently the Eagles' offensive line was run of the mill this year. They weren't run of the mill. They fucking sucked. They got
so many different lineups, and it was
they got their ex franchise quarterback traded, and they have their future franchise quarterback in the wins in the running. He was running for his fucking life. So this offensive line was not good. Don't listen to PFF. They sucked. Yeah, 7 playoff teams. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. If he was that good, how come he didn't stay in? Why did Suya Peta had to go in? Why did Jamon Brown have to go in?
I think there was
why were we experimenting with Jason Peters at right guard?
I think Herbig got injured a few times, but I think that's just a thing on the front line. We can't have a full season of someone healthy. Like even during the Super Bowl run, we had Peters that was out.
It's the whole team.
Yeah.
Jason, we're just quoting Jason.
You're literally quoting that whole speech.
Yeah, Herbig got hurt. I don't see how you could honestly go into the season with Nate Herbig playing right guard again. I can't see it.
You'll have Brooks, so it's really not going to be an issue.
Oh, we do got Matt Pryor if we trade Brandon Brooks.
So bad. Literally a giant. He's a big body for no reason. Like he's very useless.
I don't know. I think football is a little different than baseball. And I think with the Howard and Rollins situation, and even Utley, and even Hamels, I think that they all just came up at once and they all just went into their prime. They went into their primes at once, won the World Series in 2008, went back in 2009, and then went to NLCS in 10, and then the NLDS in 11.
It's just
it's just they all hit their prime at once, and they just all fell.
And that's why the Phillies were very bad after that, because when you lose all your players at one time, like you use all of your prime players at one time, like you're really going to go nowhere. Honestly, like you're going to be either running on people that aren't efficient, or that's when you brought in all the young guys, like Dominic Brown. Like we can name a million names, man. Abdul Herrera. What you think about Abdul?
What do I think? We'll talk about the Phillies a little later. I got to finish this Eagles point, dude, because
Arlen, what's up, Jimmy?
Oh, my guy.
Oh,
where are you at, Jim? No,
you gotta come in soon, Jimmy.
Yeah, got to get the crew back together. But here's the thing. I don't want to trade Brooks. I think the Brooks and the Howard and Rollins situations is just totally different. It's just who's going to play right guard besides Nate Herbig. Because I don't trust Herbig. I don't trust Herbig at all.
I don't know.
And what are you going to trade Brandon Brooks for? A 5th round pick? Another pick for Howie and Jeffrey to mess up?
When I think about it, I don't think the offensive line will be as important as it was last year. When you have Carson Wentz, when you have a runner like Jalen Hurts who can run out of the pocket, one of the quickest in the NFL, he can run. And I know, like I said, like you said a million times, Wentz ran a lot, and I mean he's just not as fast as Hurts. Simple as that. He had a torn ACL, but like I just don't think it'll be as valuable as we think it is coming up this season. But it's still pretty big. But we can't overrate it too much.
Dude, I want Jalen Hurts to succeed. I want Jalen Hurts to succeed. And I feel like we aren't giving the players that we have enough credit.
Mm-hmm.
I think Fletcher Cox is going to get restructured over the next few weeks.
Needs to. He is getting paid a lot of money, and he's even the best on the defensive line this year.
They already let go 2 of the guys that they needed to let go years ago, and that was Deshaun and Alshon.
Yep.
So you have the young core developing around Hurts. Now, once we trade Zach Ertz, which I'm not all for, that just leaves a bad thing in my stomach.
Yeah.
But once you trade him, you'll get a little bit more cap space. Maybe you could add a vet receiver.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're going to let go of Marquise Goodwin. That'll give you some cap relief.
I don't want to get rid of him. I just feel like we still need that veteran presence in the locker room.
Yeah.
You can't have all rookies. It's just how it is.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think once free agency starts, you bring in a guy like Kenny Golladay, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you bring in a guy like Kenny Golladay, your wide receiver goes, your depth chart goes from this to like this. Because you finally got a guy that can get open. You got a guy that can catch the fucking ball.
Yeah. He's not a bad player. He's a very quick. He's a deep threat.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think if you had him and Rieger on it, if somebody's doubling Goodwin, and then you have Goddard, it's not gonna be as bad as everyone
exactly.
Thinks. And then if you go and draft Chase
or Devontae Smith, because if you have Golladay on one side, you got Jalen Rieger on the other, and then you got Devontae Smith playing the slot.
That's
Dallas Goedert on the line, Miles Sanders in the backfield, and an offensive line that's built up, healthy.
But we don't want to talk about that. We
don't want to talk about that. We just want to be negative Nancy's. And that's what I'm saying. That. Already people going negative Nancy. We can't afford Golladay. The one thing that Howie Roseman does is he pulls money out of his fucking asshole. That's what he does. That's what he does. He's going to restructure a couple more deals. He's going to cut a couple more players. He's going to trade a couple more players.
Mm-hmm. And another thing I want to add to this, I didn't like that Hargrave signing. I really didn't. We paid him a lot of money.
Well, there's another deal that we're just going to restructure.
I think we should.
We're just going to keep on kicking this empty can down the sidewalk until it just goes off a cliff. That's what we're going to do. We're going to restructure the contracts. We're going to sign new dudes. We're going to fuck up the draft. It's what's going to happen, and we're always going to be flirting around 9-7 in this bad division. And we're always going to be flirting around the second wild card or winning the division.
And it's a whole nother beast this year too. You got a new coach, and it's just like you got a coaching staff is completely restructured, and it's just different from last year, and it's a culture change. And honestly, someone needs to clip what me and Jimmy were just talking about a minute ago. Someone needs to clip that because the Eagles fans have been so negative. That you got to believe in something. You got to have some sort of optimism. I know that Howie messed up this draft, that draft. He can't mess up this draft. There's too many good players in the top 10. There's too many. There's too many to mess up.
You got 5 picks in the top 90, I think, in the top 100. 3 or 4 of those guys have to come out being starters. One of them have to come out being an all-pro, and that should be your 6th pick. Whether that's Smith or Chase.
Yep.
Now, if you don't sign Golladay, then you draft Chase. If you do sign Golladay, you draft Devontae Smith. I don't think you can go either wrong with either of them. I'm being completely honest. But if we start looking at it that way, I am not here to go all over Howie Roseman and Jeffrey Lurie. I'm not. I'm just trying to bring light to the fact that we are 1 to 2 guys on the offensive side of the ball to being a good offense, being a fast-paced offense. We're fast now. 2 years ago, we weren't fast. 2 years ago, we couldn't get open. Now our problem is we can't catch the ball. If you sign a guy or two that can catch the ball, the offense is looking a little better than it is. And then you take care of the defense with your 4 other picks in the top 100.
Now, what do you think about a player like Golden Tate? Would you bring him back? Or do you think he's just completely washed? Like,
it depends. It really depends on the money. It really does. It depends how much he asks.
He should see that he's not the player he once was.
Well, he's a slot.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe if you draft Chase and bring Tate in on the cheap, if he's still in the free agency market, maybe you can do that. Then you have Rager, Tate, and Chase.
Yep.
I like Chase. I like Smith. Elliott, I hate the idea of drafting Pitts. I absolutely hate it because we just drafted a tight end 3 years ago when you had a top 2 tight end in the league.
He can be converted.
He's 270 pounds.
No, he's not. He's like 240, and he's literally like 10 to 20 pounds lighter than the dude we could have had, but we got number 19.
You're referring to the dude that we could have had in DK Metcalf, and we all know who number 19 is on the Eagles roster.
I think that's what a lot of people see when they think about Pitts. That's what they think about. Or Chase Claypool. It's not as big as Chase Claypool. He's skinny, but like, you know, like he was converted into a wide receiver, and like,
why are we in love with 12 personnel though? I said this in our last show, not last week, but 12 personnel doesn't exist in the NFL unless you're the fucking Philadelphia Eagles. It doesn't. Or you're Lamar Jackson in Baltimore where you play 13 personnel. What has that gotten him? 1 playoff win in 3 years. 12 personnel, 13 personnel does not work in the NFL. You have a tight end who you just fucked over your all-pro tight end this year that you drafted Goddard, which fucked over Ertz, right? Why would you come in and draft a Pitts when you already have a tight end? We could easily get away with having Goddard as a starting tight end, and you re-sign Richard Rodgers. So if you want to play 12 personnel, go ahead. You have Richard Rodgers, you have Dallas Goedert. You have
honestly, the only reason why I would draft Pitts now is that if Chase, Smith, and all the other options are off the board, like if something happens and we draft back and we can't get any of those guys, I think that would just be. I can see why a lot of people want him, but I can see why a lot like you wouldn't want him. Just because of that 12 personnel, just because of the history with that. We didn't have a good year when we ran that. So
yeah. Our second tight end when we won the Super Bowl was Trey Burton. And since he left, he hasn't really been a number 1 tight end in the league. He's a number 2 tight end.
Yep.
And I'm sorry, you had Brett Selleck as well. And he was just good for blocking. So you had Zach Ertz, who was a top 2 tight end in the league. And then you had slightly above average tight end in Trey Burton, and he had an old man blocking who did a great job.
Trey Burton he had a very impactful year. I don't think a lot of people see that. He had a very impactful year that year.
He was a part of the Philly special.
Yeah, and it's crazy because all the people that were part of the Philly special no longer Eagles.
I think what will benefit our inexperienced QB is rebuilding the offensive line and putting receivers around him that can get open and that can open the field, especially since he is a guy that likes to openly get out of the pocket and make plays. Tight ends don't just make plays like that. Why wouldn't you want a guy like Jamar Chase or Devontae Smith that can make plays on a consistent basis, that are running 4.3s, 4.4s, 4.2s? I don't understand the love with the tight ends. I just don't get it.
Corey Clement's not going to be an Eagle after. He's not even going to be on the starting. He's not going to be. It sucks to say. I met the guy. He's such a nice guy too, but he's not going to be on the Eagles.
Yeah, and guys, if you're on YouTube, give us a like, please. We'd really appreciate that. We have 10 likes right now.
Only 10?
Wow. Yeah, on YouTube, I think.
Y'all are fake.
We should have as many likes as watches right now.
That would be pretty nice. My birthday is coming up. If you guys want to be a little generous, not for another month, but
my birthday's coming up, but not for another 7 months. If we're just throwing that out there. Wow. See, even non-Eagles fans are telling us to draft Pitts. Isn't that telling you something that we shouldn't really draft him? I just don't understand the love with the tight end, especially with the 6th pick.
People are just scared. People are scared, Jimmy. People are scared that a guy like Smith is going to turn into Ortega-Whiteside. And then you're going to go back and you're going to regret not taking Pitts. I feel like that's what people are scared of. But
Jamar Chase is like J.J. Ortega-Whiteside?
No, Smith.
Oh, Smith.
People think that he's – I don't know. I don't know what people are thinking.
Well, I'm just saying –
I'll take Smith or Chase in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
I would. Unless we draft back until like the 15th pick. And
then that's when you go for defense. That's when you go for defense if you draft back.
That's when you're going to go for a player like Parsons, or there's plenty of players, especially in the second round. There's plenty of players on defense as well. Asante Samuel Jr. is a great player. He's played for the Eagles.
But if we draft back and draft him 15, I'm boycotting the season.
What? Asante Samuel Jr. at 15?
Somewhere around there. He's a second round projection.
He's not going to be. He's going to be a second rounder.
Exactly. But I'm saying that's something they would do. They would trade back and be the smartest person in the fucking room, and they draft Asante Samuel Jr. with the 15th. That's probably going to happen. Mark, all I'm saying is 12 personnel does not work in the NFL. You don't win championships with 12 personnel unless your name is Bill Belichick. Like, what did the Colts win with 12 personnel? Nothing.
I mean, they had. I don't know if they. Do you think they'll run 12 personnel still at the Colts with Carson?
I don't know. I think Carson thrives in a spread offense. You saw that in 2017, or in an 11 personnel offense. You saw that in 17.
Line is very nice.
His offensive line is nice. He has Naheem Hines. He has Jonathan Taylor. They're gonna do something. I already put my bet down that they're gonna win the Super Bowl. Like a $400 payout off a $20 bet. So that's gonna be a fun show if just miracles happen. I watched the Miracle on Ice last night. It was a really great sight to see. You just love to see it.
That's the only good team you'll be watching yesterday, right? That's the only. Yeah. Because I got done work. I came back home, watched the end of the Flyers game. They were up 1-0, and then they let in 3 straight goals. And I was like, with the fans in the stadiums on the first day back.
Yeah, that's just such a Philly thing to do. Yeah, it's just you had to expect that to come. Yeah. You know, you just had to see. You
drop a few $100 to watch a disappointment. That's pretty much.
And the sad part is, if I didn't work yesterday, I probably would have tried to get tickets to go. So thank God I worked. Yeah. But yeah, I watched the Miracle on Ice, and it was just a great sight to see. Going back to miracles, if a miracle happens and we end up going to the Super Bowl, and we end up playing the Colts,
oh my God,
that'll be a fun show. Because I already put the bet down that the Colts are going to win the Super Bowl.
Wow.
Obviously, I'm cheering for my Eagles to win the Super Bowl if we're in that position.
Yeah.
I might do an early payout just so I don't have to feel the pain, you know?
Wow.
So I don't have to have to hear it from anybody. Elliot, I trust Goddard. Yeah. I trust Goddard. What has he shown you that you shouldn't trust him? He had a couple of drops in his second year, which was last year. I don't see why you can't trust him. Yeah. It's just there's so many needs on this roster.
Yeah.
There's just that's
why I think Howie's not going to completely fuck this draft up. It's because there's so many needs on this team that there's almost like it's impossible to pick a bad player in the top 10. Well, because every player is going to be great.
Well, the thing is, I said it a couple shows ago.
I think that's not happening.
I said it a couple shows ago. There's maybe 3 positions on this team where you don't need any reinforcements. The punter, the long snapper, and the tight end.
Yep.
Everything else you need something, whether it's depth at the offensive line, whether it's you want to fuck around and draft another quarterback for your QB factory because you don't necessarily trust the guy you drafted last year in which you called Russell Wilson, whether it's a cornerback on the other side of Slay, whether it's a safety next to old man McLeod, whether it's a linebacker next to the GOAT, Alex Singleton. Yeah. There's just so many needs on this team It's just it would just be so reckless to draft Pitts. So reckless.
Wow.
And going back to what you said about how we can't mess this up, it's really simple. If Sewell's there at 6, you take Sewell. If he's not, you take Chase or Smith. If they're both gone, you trade back. Those are the 3 things he does in which he will actually do the right thing.
Mm-hmm. Punter has been cut. Yep. Sucks. Rest in peace, Cam Johnson. Yeah.
What?
So
where have I been?
Yeah, they're not.
So what? Are we taking a punter 6 overall?
Dude, I'm thinking Sarah Fuller. She's looking pretty good, dude.
We might just end the show right now.
Wow. Should we go into some Sixers talk?
Yeah. Wait. I need to know if this is sarcasm first. I need to know if this is sarcasm or if it's a real prediction.
Definitely the Ravens. They're definitely the Steelers, Ravens. I think they're better than the Browns. Bills, I don't know about Bills and Chiefs. I don't know about that.
Well, the Colts have a top 3 defense. Yep. They have a top 2 offensive line. They have speed all over their offense. They have 2 legit running backs. One the pass catcher, one just runs downhill, and Jonathan Taylor came on at the end of his rookie year.
He's crazy. They have 3 crazy running backs.
Yeah.
And they're probably going to trade away and get another player.
Well,
and they have a lot of cap money.
Yeah. And then they just added a guy who was voted the 3rd best football player by his colleagues 4 years ago. And a guy who carried basically nobody to a division title and a playoff game in which he got eliminated by Jadeveon Clowney. They were a quarterback away from being a Super Bowl contender. So if that's sarcasm, I don't understand it. Because they're right up there with the Bills. They lost to the Bills by 3 points in the playoff game. You add Carson Wentz, you win that game. The Browns are fake. They have a good running game. They have an iffy defense, and they have Baker Mayfield. So he's better than the Browns. He's up there with the Bills.
Yep.
Ravens. The Ravens will never win anything. The Ravens will never win anything. They're better than the Ravens.
And the Titans, not to mention the Titans are also a good team.
Their defense was as bad as ours.
Their offense carries. The
AFC, it's going to be the Chiefs. It's going to be the Steelers. It's going to be the Bills. It's going to be the Colts. Chiefs are going to be up there. And then what's going to happen with the other 3 teams? You don't know.
Okay.
And not to mention, we all see what happens to Pat Mahomes when he doesn't have his weapons. So what happens if they have an injury-plagued season this year with the $500 million that he had? He took all the fucking salary space. So it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting.
That's crazy. $500 million right there. That's pretty nuts.
What the fuck are you talking about? I watched the games at least 2 times over. I see that he can't throw the ball after his first read. Are you looking at his college film at Oklahoma? Are you looking at the stats that he recorded at Oklahoma? Or are you going to look at his 52% completion percentage in the 4 games that he had? Or are you going to look at the 1 win that he had? Or are you going to look at the fact that the worst defense in NFL fucking history figured him out?
Jimmy, he's gonna come back. Don't worry.
I just said I'm gonna cheer for him to come back.
I know. But like that last season it's kind of irrelevant now because it already happened and it's a whole different system and I don't know. Noodle arm. Noodle arm.
He has a strong arm. He could do squats. Have you seen him do squats, Mr. Wing?
Yeah.
He could fucking squat the shit out of those fucking plates. But if it means that Jamar Chase is going to be covered and you have Jalen Reagor wide open on the other side and you can't see it because you're rolling to your right because you're afraid to stay in the pocket and you get blown up for a 2-yard loss on a sack, that's going to fucking suck because if that repeats, what's going to happen?
Now, do you think that since Jamar Chase opted out of the season, do you think anything of it or no?
I've thought about it, but the more
I
I
don't
look at
love it, but if it's like, I mean, if you get hurt, that's another thing. If he's a top 5 pick. I feel like if he did play, he would have probably been a solid top 3 pick,
well,
which he can be.
yeah.
But
I just also look at it this way: he's not 30 years old. He's 21 years old.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't want to call myself a super athlete because I'm not, but I had a year off of rugby. I'm just getting back into the swing of things right now. I feel great at practice. I don't want to compare myself to a professional athlete, but him and I are the same age.
Yeah.
It's not like he's going to lose a step because he missed out on a year of football. I think if anything, that helps it out.
Now, what do you think about Waddle? Jalen Waddle. Another Jalen.
I mean, it fits the description. It fits the description of drafting a guy that's hurt. I don't personally love it. I think if the only way you were to draft Waddle is if you do trade back, and if you trade back, I want to get Surtain.
Yeah. David. Oh my God! Popping a football with thighs was
that's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Dave, I appreciate you. I appreciate the support. Here's the deal. We're gonna run back to the poll question, and then we're gonna start talking Sixers. The poll question was: there should be a little bit more optimism for the Eagles with how we already adjusting the contracts. I agree with it 100%. I agree with it. I think if we stop being such negative Nancy's, I've been around negative Nancy's way too long in this town. Our Super Bowl year, I predicted us to go 12-4. I got laughed at. I know it's a completely different roster now, but you know anything can happen. You know that the Eagles have been notorious for having big turnarounds after pitiful seasons.
Mm-hmm.
I see that the offensive line is coming back healthy. I see that you have young weapons in Jalen Reagor, Dallas Goedert, Miles Sanders, hopefully a Chaser or a Devontae Smith, and then you maybe sign a guy like Golden Tate or Kenny Golladay if you can.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, your offense looks like it's a good offense, and I'm just throwing this out there before August rolls around when everybody's salivating that we have a good offense. I just want to put that on the record now, so that you and I are ahead of the gun.
Someone needs to clip this.
Yeah,
you need to save receipts.
I'm telling you right now. People are going to be all over this Eagles offense come August.
Yeah.
Because Howie's going to do everything he can to build an admiral offense.
And we're not going to give too much credit to Howie because you can't get it. Like I said, you can't get it wrong.
You have 5 picks inside the top 100. At least 3 of them. At least 3 of them should be starters. Yep. One of them would be Jason Smith. The other 2 had to be on the defensive side of the ball.
Yep. And I think we should draft a linebacker too.
I mean,
we did draft a linebacker last year.
I don't want to talk about that.
2 straight. Was it the 3rd and 4th or 4th and 5th?
Davion Taylor and Sean Bradley.
And I don't think they played 50%.
Sean Bradley played a little bit. Davion Taylor barely got on special teams.
Wow.
That's the past. Let's not talk about the past because that'll just make me upset.
Yeah.
I'm just saying you got 5 picks inside the top 100, right?
Mm-hmm.
One of them's going to be a wide receiver. Either Smith or Chase.
Mm-hmm.
Your next 4, 3 out of the 4 of them have to be defensive starters. One of them has to be a corner. One of them has to be a safety. One of them needs to be a linebacker.
Yep, I agree.
I think there should be optimism with the Eagles.
I do too. I think everyone jumps conclusions. Hurts, noodle arm, this, that. Like, come on, you gotta believe in the kid. He's your quarterback at the end of the day. He's gonna be your quarterback this year. You just gotta roll with it because you either roll with him or you don't watch, and it's annoying.
Yeah. So let's transition into Barbershop-Gate.
Speaking of barber, man, I need a haircut.
Yeah, so do I. Hopefully I don't catch COVID when I go to the barbershop.
Get a little hair in my eye.
It would absolutely just blow if I went to the barbershop and just caught COVID. I feel like Ben Simmons.
Hey, I already had it, so
I also had it.
I'll walk in without a mask.
Now you got to make it political.
No, it wasn't political.
Nothing political to see here. All right. I'm going to be completely honest. I already told you about my day yesterday. I forgot the All-Star game was on after I saw that Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons was out. I didn't watch a minute of it. I think the score, it was a blowout apparently.
It was like, I think it was like 170, 150 or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like some weird format they did. And then just any other All-Star game, to be honest, without fans, which makes it honestly useless. It's stupid.
Yeah.
Like the All-Star game, the fans is half of it. It really is. Just like as sports is. If you're not gonna have fans, it's different with a regular NBA, but like an All-Star game where one of your best players of all time are saying, I don't want to play in this and I'm not looking forward to it. It was kind of a bad look. It definitely was a bad look.
It was definitely for the money. It was all for the money. This whole thing is just about the money. At the end of the day, we watch it because we pour our hearts out into it. Yeah. It really just it makes or breaks our day. If the Sixers or the Flyers or the Eagles or the Phillies lose a big game, it hurts us until the next time they play. The owners don't care. The commissioners don't care. They care about the money. They care about taking our money.
Yep. I don't know.
But here's what I gotta say. I just hope they're back Thursday or Friday.
Yeah.
Embiid and Simmons.
They did test negative, which is good, but I don't know what really the things are for that. I don't know if it's like a 7-day, 10-day thing. But because every single game this next half of the season, it's gonna be a fight. Because if you have fans coming back to Wells Fargo, that's a big thing. And you know how impactful fans can be. You really know. So Eagles could have had a better season last year with fans.
Oh yeah,
they boo them every fucking time they leave when they're not up by 20.
Yeah,
I think it really is. It's stupid.
Blake Griffin got added to the Nets. What do you think about that?
So scared. Dude, I don't know if who was it? Somebody said it earlier.
Yeah, somebody. I was trying to look for it as we were wrapping up Eagles. I just couldn't find it. There was so many people talking about the Eagles.
Yeah, but I think it may have been Brado. But he said just to stop my boy Furky. All that to just stop Furky.
Oh God! If Furkan's still on the team,
I think it was Ryan.
If Furkan's still on the team after this trade deadline,
stop, dude, stop! Come on. You gotta stop with that. You're just a professional hater.
How am I a hater?
You're hating on greatness. Turkish delight,
dude. We are. First of all, you got me yelled at. Apparently, people don't think we're basketball names because we didn't know that there was fans in an All-Star game that was completely useless. I'm sorry, Cal.
Yeah.
Next time I'll get my facts straight, and instead of just watching hockey, watching the Flyers, I'll watch a pointless All-Star game.
Yeah. That was
Anyway.
Yep.
The Sixers
that was really stupid too. I saw all these dude, I really don't care anything. I didn't care about the All-Star too much, the All-Star game. I only care about the Sixers. I don't care about any other goddamn player in the NBA. If they're a Sixer, I care about them. I don't care about any other player. I really don't.
Unless they're playing us.
Yeah.
And the All-Star game, it wasn't the All-Stars versus the Sixers.
I don't care. That was the most useless thing ever. You're bad. The GOAT said it. But it's all about the money at the end of the day, like you said.
Yeah, they were having the time of their lives yesterday.
They were. Adam Silver, dude. Adam Silver He was.
All right. Here's the thing. I'm not a certified hater when it comes to Furkan Korkmaz. I think we are 1 to 2 players away from being contenders, from winning the championship.
Now, are you talking players that can start, or are you talking players that can come off the bench?
That's the thing. We definitely need one more bench piece. It's not even a question. They're wildly inconsistent. Furkan is wildly inconsistent. I'm done with the experiment. Furkan is the equivalent to Odubel Herrera. Odubel Herrera is off and on.
Mm-hmm.
He'll give you a great month, and then he'll go 3 months stagnant. He'll give you another great month. He'll go 5 months stagnant.
Yeah.
Furkan Korkmaz is basically Odubuhere when it comes to baseball, basketball. I'm being straight up with you right now. Am I right or am I right?
I don't know. No comment.
I'm right.
Man.
You know I'm right.
I don't know. Nah. He doesn't beat his wife or whatever.
That's not what I was saying.
Yeah,
I need.
That's such a weird comparison. I don't know.
How? The way they are to their teams, that's basically what it is.
Herrera is a lot more impactful, in my opinion.
Okay.
Herrera, like, nah.
Furkan Korkmaz, if he's in the playoff rotation, it's maybe a conference or a semi-conference final exit, maybe a second round exit.
And dude, they need shooting. So if they can't get anybody, they're gonna keep him.
Dude,
they're gonna keep him.
Just because you're a shooter doesn't mean you're a consistent shooter.
But because I don't know, Jimmy.
Is he gonna hit a big shot midway through the third quarter when the bench comes in?
He's had big games. Come on, he's had big games.
Has he ever had a big game?
He's had more 20-point games than Ben Simmons has. I'm pretty sure this year. So I don't think you should be talking too much.
So then fucking start Furkan Korkmaz.
Maybe we should.
Start. I want you to start him.
Yeah,
I want that to happen.
He's not any better than Danny Green isn't any he's not that much better than him. Like defensively, yeah, but offensively, no.
Dude. Furkan Korkmaz stinks. I can't even say his name. He stinks.
Say his name right.
He doesn't deserve for me to say his name right. He stinks. Why wouldn't you want a Delon Wright? Why wouldn't you want a Belizia?
Yeah, Norman Legica or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, from Sacramento. Why wouldn't you want one of them guys? Why wouldn't you want to do a potential buyout with? I don't know.
I think it's chemistry too. Chemistry. First been on the team for last. He was the same year that Joel Embiid was drafted.
That's pointless because he's still inconsistent.
I don't know.
Did he even get minutes in the sweep last year against Boston?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, is that why we got swept?
Shut up, dude.
I'm just saying.
No,
my guy wasn't playing when we got swept.
We didn't have a point guard.
Yeah, because never mind.
What?
I'm gonna say because the best player wasn't on the court for our team.
Right.
He was. Ben Simmons was our best player last year.
No.
Yes, he was.
He's still. I don't think so.
Last season, Ben Simmons was our best player because we were trying to run Joe out of town.
That's
I'm gonna be honest. I was running Joe out of town last year because I thought he was he was never gonna get out of his own head, but I was wrong. But Ben Simmons was our best player last year.
That's a debatable one. That's really debatable.
I want Kyle Lowry. I want us to do anything we can, anything it takes to get Kyle Lowry.
Mm-hmm.
Whether that's give up Matisse, whether that's give up Maxey, whether that's give up 2 first-round picks.
See, there is a lot of talks a lot of talks about Matisse Thybulle and whether.
What's up, Mike?
What's up, Mike? And they're saying something like a team would give up a lottery pick for him, or like in a trade. But I'm not looking to go trade for picks. That's just not my thing. I'd rather have an impactful player that can help me right now because each year that goes by, you're losing a prime year of Joel Embiid. You're losing a semi-prime year of your boy Ben Simmons because he's not his prime yet, I guess.
He's my side. We're not exclusive.
But yeah, like I said, I don't go and trade for picks right now. It's not that important, but we don't want to be like the Nets who don't have any picks for the last.
No. I do. I don't care about first-round picks right now. I get rid of them. Get rid of all of them. You never know if you're going to have this Joel Embiid again. You never know if Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid are ever going to play like this again.
Mm-hmm.
If you need that third piece like Kyle Lowry, you need it. You need it because if you had to give up
Maxey, or would you rather give up a first round pick? You probably have to give up.
You're gonna have to give up both, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that because you never know if Joe's gonna play like this again.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if that means you have to give up Danny Green too, do it. Take him. Put Matisse into the starting lineup. Because then you have Ben. You'll have Kyle. You have Matisse.
That's gross. That's
Why?
a gross lineup.
Why?
Too much defense, not enough offense, just like last year.
So Danny Green.
Because if Harris is having a bad game shooting, your best player in the court shooting is probably going to be Joel Embiid.
He's shooting over 40% from 30.
I know, but he can't be your best free. He can't be your best player from 3.
So you'd rather? So you're telling me that you'd rather have Seth Curry and Danny Green in the starting lineup as opposed to Kyle Lowry? And
I'd rather have Kyle Lowry than Danny Green. Yes,
but then you could have Seth come off the bench, and then you'll have Shake, you'll have Seth, and then you'll add another wing, maybe a Terrence Ross to come off the bench.
I don't want to give up. I don't want to give up Tease. I don't know.
No, we wouldn't give up Tease. We'll give up Green.
I don't know. They still have him for another year. Don't we have him for like 2 year, $15 million?
I don't know. I just want him gone. I want him gone, and I want Matisse starting. I think the lineup of Ben, Kyle, Matisse, Toby, and Joe, and then you have Seth, Shake, and then you try and add a Terrence Ross. I think that'll be immaculate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And plus, when the playoffs do start, the defense tightens up.
Mm-hmm.
The defense tightens up. And we all know Danny Green can't hit a contested 3. Kyle Lowry can shoot a 3.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Danny Green's a free agent. I thought we had him for 1 more year.
I'll check it real quick. And the Levine rumors, it really depends. I thought they wanted either Ben to go, and if that's the case, no. But I'd much rather have Kyle Lowry than Levine. Do you agree or disagree with that?
Disagree. But I mean, all right. Are you saying we'd have to get rid of Simmons?
They wanted Simmons when we first started talking about getting Levine, but I don't think that'll happen. But Kyle Lowry or Zach LaVine, I'm taking Kyle Lowry.
Give me Iguodala. Give me Iguodala, dude. But no.
Fate of the universe on the line. I want Iguodala. He has 2 years left.
Ferk is a free agent next year.
Danny Green signed a.
I thought it was a 2 year, like $15 million, or 2 year $30 million or something like that.
Yeah, Danny has 1 year left.
Yeah. So you have Danny Green for 1 more year. Could clear up cap space, take a cap hit, but I don't know. You can go sign another player in the offseason, like a good bench player, but you also have players like Shake Milton, who has probably the best contract in the NBA right now. I don't think by trading him anything's going to happen, but I do think him and Kyle Lowry are very similar players, which is why that he would need to be like. What would you think about having Shake come in and play at 3?
The starting lineup?
Yeah. Are you opposed to that? Like,
So
would you be opposed to a lineup of Ben Simmons, Kyle Lowry, Shake Milton, Tobias Harris, and Embiid? And then you could have Seth Curry come off the bench. You still have Matisse Thybulle coming off the bench. Could get a player like Hill. Like, would that be an acceptable lineup? I mean, the defense wouldn't get as good because Danny Green is a great defender. Kyle Lowry, he's a semi-decent defender, but he's also only 6'1". You got Simmons, Embiid, and Tobias Harris. So I don't know if it'd be. Huh?
My dog's having a nightmare right now. No, I don't like Shake. I don't like Shake in the starting lineup.
Okay.
Because this is the thing: Durant, Kyrie, Harden, Joe Harris, and Blake Griffin starting.
They're not going to start Blake, I don't think.
Well, either DeAndre Jordan or Blake.
Yeah,
either one of them.
Lob City. I'm scared of Lob City, but we have the coach of Lob City.
I I don't know.
Coach of Lob City.
I look at their lineup, and I want to build a lineup that will stop them.
Mm-hmm.
I
had
have
a lineup last year that was built to beat the Bucks,
but that was in the off season that they built that lineup.
Yeah.
Now we see what we have in Joe and Ben
mm-hmm.
because they're both playing at high levels right now. Joel Embiid's MVP right now.
Yep.
If he keeps playing like that, I think I'd sacrifice Danny Green leaving and put a lot of more faith in Joe to keep it up. Put a lot more faith in Ben to stay aggressive.
Yep.
And risk Matisse Thybulle in that starting lineup so that he could stop a James Harden or stop a Kyrie Irving. Because if you put Shake in the starting lineup, he's not stopping Kyrie, he's not stopping Harden, and those are the only guys that Shake would be able to guard. Right?
Yeah. All right, but like, if you were to have that starting lineup out there, who's guarding who? Do you have? You have Simmons on Durant.
My lineup.
Yeah.
So Ben. Lowry, Matisse, Toby, yeah. So I got Ben on Durant. I got Matisse on Harden. No. Yeah, Matisse on Harden. Lowry on Kyrie. Tobias on Joe Harris. And then Embiid on DeAndre Jordan.
Now, what would you run? Would you run a zone?
You're starting off as man, and then if shit starts to get out of hand, you go to a 2-3 to start throwing them off a little bit. But the 2-3 zone, like Jonathan said last week, Harden, Kyrie, or Durant, or all three of them will eat that up in the mid-range. So you can't play that the whole time. But the lineup I just said, defensively, that gives us our best chance to slow them down all at once.
But
and then you trust Joe on the other side because Joe's not going to be exerting a lot of defense on DeAndre Jordan or Blake Griffin. So that gives Joe a lot of leeway on the defensive side of the ball to come back and give us 35 a night against the Nets.
Yep.
And then Ben Simmons is going to need to give us his all if we do end up getting rid of our shooter, Danny Green.
And another thing is that Matisse really has to step up. My boy, Matisse Thybulle, has to step up offensively. If you're in the corner and you can't non-contested and you can't hit a three, come on, man. You got to be able to hit that, dude. If he was even 32%, if he was even 35%, like this team would be a lot more deadly. A lot more deadly.
I'd get him on a buyout just in case. I wouldn't. Maybe trade for a second round. Who cares? I would love PJ Tucker. He is having an awful year this year, but that's also
he's playing on
an awful team.
Yeah,
but
I don't know. That's a weird lineup they have over there. It really is. Christian Wood.
Well, what do you think about maybe trying to snag Oladipo?
Oladipo, I don't like it. He's too similar to Shake. He really he is literally Shake Milton. I don't want to disrespect Oladipo, but I don't want to disrespect him too much. But like, they're literally the same player. They really are.
Well, if Oladipo comes over, he's gonna start, and then whenever he comes off the court, Shake will come on, so you don't really miss a beat.
It really depends on what you'd have to give up, really.
It'd probably be Maxey and first round picks.
So would you rather have Oladipo or would you rather have Kyle Lowry? A guy with championship experience or a guy that was hurt?
Lowry. But apparently people want Lowry, but they don't want to give up Maxey.
Yeah. Dude. Which let's talk about this. We talked about it last podcast. And I said, if Ben Simmons is your guy and Maxey does not develop that three-pointer that we need desperately, he's never going to start. He is never going to start with Ben Simmons. He's going to get limited play. He's going to get little to no playoff time. He's never going to start. He's not going to start with Simmons. He's not going to be a shooting guard. Like, I don't know what – I really like Maxey. I really like the kid. I think he's an awesome kid, awesome player, but, like, he's young. He's young.
And you got to think about it this way. He was the 21st pick in the draft. Don't get greedy. Don't get greedy because At the end of the day,
he was a steal.
He was a steal, and now you can use him as leverage to get closer to that championship. Because I'm going to say it until we get eliminated from the playoffs or we win the finals this year.
Mm-hmm.
You have no idea if this Joe will ever show up again for a season, for at least half the season, because he showed up to half the season. Hopefully it stays for the full, and if it does, he's the MVP. But you'll never know if you'll have this Joe again.
Yep. Yeah.
You need to go all out. You need to get Kyle Lowry. You need to get a Terrence Ross or a PJ Tucker. You need to get 2, maybe even 3 guys. And if that means sacrificing your precious Furkan Korkmaz or sacrificing your precious Danny Green, I'm taking it. I'm taking it all day.
All right.
It's been a
wow. Yeah, it's a lot to take in. It really is. It's a lot to take in, and I think it's oh, shit. All right, one of my pictures about to fall, but it sucks because we're in a really good situation, but I feel like one wrong move it can ruin it all.
Oh, somebody's bringing up the Celtics. The Celtics, if Smart will come back and if they do get that trade done,
the Celtics can have literally no one of their starters playing; they'd still play us to 7 games.
Yeah,
or we'd get swept.
Well,
we have not been good against Boston since we really have never been good against Boston. We were good with them when we had Jimmy Butler. We had a closeout shooter.
Even when we had that surprise run against Derrick Rose when he tore his ACL, the Celtics were the team that eliminated us.
Yeah.
That Andre Iguodala, Andre Miller team. The Celtics were the one that eliminated us in that playoffs. Yeah. I think every single time that we've made the playoffs over the past 12 years, with the exception of the Raptors, we've been eliminated by the Celtics.
Yep. So I definitely they are a tough team no matter what. They're gonna play you hard. Just like the Eagles against any NFC team. It's gonna be a battle every time. You really never know what's gonna happen. The Sixers, we've had high hopes for the Sixers against the Celtics for years now.
Mm-hmm.
When Kyle Lowry was out and they had Terry Rozier, balling out, who was balling out in that series. Mm-hmm. We were expected to win that. We were expected to win. They didn't have Kyrie Irving.
Was it Isaiah Thomas or Kyrie Irving?
That was the year Kyrie got hurt.
Okay.
So it was just
Tatum's
rookie year, I think. It may have been Tatum's rookie year.
Yeah. And then Rozier
came to win that, and we didn't. And we got absolutely demolished. What was it, 4-1?
Well, that's when we had it was 4-1. That's when Bellinelli hit that major shot to go to OT. Yeah. That was that team. That was when Joe was either a no-show or a show. But if the playoffs were to start today, it would work out that the Sixers and the Celtics would probably meet in the second round of the playoffs. Because the Celtics are the 4 seed, we're the 1 seed.
Yep. They're very inconsistent now, but when it comes to the playoffs, they'll make the playoffs. But when it comes to the playoffs, Brad Stevens is a smart coach, and I mean, he was smart against Brett Brown, but I don't know if he can outsmart Doc.
Do you remember a post a couple weeks ago that ATD on our Instagram put out? Celtics fans were trying to run Brad Stevens out of town, and they were trying to get
dumb.
Well, they were trying to get Brett Brown. They were trying to get Brett Brown to replace him. I'm like, yes, sir.
Dude, I commented actually under that, and they were like, "Oh, they know Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid's weakness," and I'm like, "We literally know every single one of Brett Brown's weakness. I can name a few right now. Is it keeping a lead? Is it not developing your players? Is it
being able to win?
Failing on Markelle Fultz? Is it failing on Ben Simmons for his shooting? The list goes on and on.
Being able to win on the road.
Yeah, that's insanity. that was probably the thing I've ever heard from the Celtics. I can't really
let them do it.
I can't expect too much from the Celtics fan base to begin with, but
let them do
that's insane. Yeah. Brett Brown, dude, I don't even think he's coaching right now. He might be coaching his his grandson's like basketball team or something. Grade school basketball team.
Brett Brown, dude.
I really don't know.
Can't with Brett Brown.
He got fired from the Australian team.
Yeah. I'm gonna keep saying it until it happens. We need Kyle Lowry. We need to sell the future to win this championship this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I know I'm sounding a little bit of a hypocrite because I keep on saying that you don't win a championship until you're at least 28 years old. This season is just too good to be true right now, unless you add that veteran in Kyle Lowry.
Yep, I agree.
So,
it's interesting. It's going to be definitely interesting. I really hope this season lives up to the expectations. The first half, they set the bar pretty damn high.
They set the bar high, and I'm not going to be mad. I'm not going to be mad if they lose to the Nets in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, no way.
But if they don't make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, the season's a fail.
Yeah,
the season's a fail,
dude. If they don't make the Eastern Conference Finals, somebody's getting your boy's getting traded.
I said, didn't we like make a bet like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago? That I told you if we don't make it.
We've been saying this for a while though.
No, but I've been saying
if Ben Simmons did not work out this season, if we didn't make at least the conference finals, then yeah.
How about this? If we lose to the Celtics in the Eastern Conference semifinals, but Ben Simmons is averaging 20, 12, and 12, and he shuts down Jason Tatum, but we still lose and don't make it to the Eastern Conference Finals, are you trading Ben?
Yeah, I am.
Why?
I am.
Why?
Trade value. Trade value goes up.
Years old. But if he's playing like that, then it's not his problem. It'd be the big man's problem.
Embiid's very good in playoffs. But I'm
just saying, if Morey doesn't do anything, and we keep the starting lineup the same,
this should be a debate because that's not going to happen. With the management we have now, we're in a lot better situation than we have been in the last few years.
But I'm just saying, if the starting lineup stays the same and Seth's inconsistent Curry and Danny Brick is still in the starting lineup,
who are you going to replace? Who on the market next year are you going to replace? It's hard to find shooters that are consistent.
Dude, anything is better than Danny Green.
Unless you have Clay.
Seth Curry's not a starter.
No.
Seth Curry's not a starter. Danny Green should.
Yes, he is. Danny Green's not a starter?
No, he should not be a starter in the league anymore.
Or Seth Curry's not a starter?
Seth Curry should not be a starter, no. He should be the seventh man off the bench. You should have your sixth man, and then you should have Seth Curry. That's what Seth Curry should be. And I'm just saying, if the starting lineup stays the same and we go play Boston and we lose to Boston in 7 in the second round of the playoffs, we better not be yelling to get Ben out of here because that's a failure. That's a failure by the organization to keep those guys in the starting lineup when the games start to matter.
We'll see. We'll just see about that. I don't know. I really don't know. I hope we do something.
And you're out of your mind if you think that Ben Simmons should be gone if he averages 20, 12, and 12 and loses to the Celtics and we lose to the Celtics in the second round.
He won't.
I'm just saying if he does.
But he can do anything he wants. He can shoot threes. But he's not.
You're a hater.
You have a lot of expectations from him. Yeah,
I'm not saying I'm expecting
a lot from him, Jimmy.
I'm not expecting that.
Dude, when we saw those videos, like, oh my God, Ben Simmons shooting threes during the summer. Oh my God, he's gonna be deadly this year. And then, he's jump shot away from being the best in the world. And then it keeps going.
He is a jump shot away from being the best in the world.
He is, but he's not shooting. We bring this up every day.
Did you see that Cavs game?
Yeah.
Shot better 3-point field goal percentage than both your boys combined. I think over the last 10 games, his 3-point field goal percentage is 100%. What's Furcon's over the last 10 games?
Stop. Honestly, imagine this. Just imagine this. You have Matisse Thybulle from last year with this year's defense in the starting lineup. You have Ben Simmons who shoots 38% from three. Imagine having all that. That would be a change.
We don't need to trade for anybody because that would be immaculate.
I'm about to start crying just thinking about it, honestly.
But Ben Simmons isn't like that. You can't expect Ben to do anything more than what he's doing right now. You can't.
But it's a common thing in the NBA to shoot the ball, especially in a predominantly three shooting league.
He's a 7-foot point guard that is the best defender on the floor whenever he plays.
A point guard should be shooting.
No, he shouldn't. Because he's proven to you that he doesn't have to.
A point guard needs to shoot, Jimmy.
Oh my God. Now we're going back to this conversation of Ben Simmons needs to shoot. I think he's proven that he doesn't need to shoot the ball.
I don't know.
He has definitely proven over the last 2 months that he doesn't need to shoot the ball. He proved last year before he got hurt and before COVID that he didn't need to shoot the ball.
I don't know, Jimmy. We'll see. Nah, like I said, we'll see. Hey, the Sixers might go and win the championship, and there would be no debate about this.
Well, here's another thing. Fred VanVleet, great compliment for Kyle Lowry, and they're 2 point guards.
Mm-hmm.
So the people saying that it'll screw up Ben if we were to get Kyle Lowry, I don't believe that. I think it'll elevate Ben because Kyle Lowry basically made Fred VanVleet.
Where do you think he would be playing?
He'd be playing the off two or the 2 guard.
Two? Who would be bringing the ball up?
It'll be either one of them. I have all the faith in the world in Doc and this coaching staff, Sam Cassell, all those guys. I have all the faith in the world that they will make Kyle Lowry fit. They will fit him into this scheme. They will build set plays around Kyle Lowry. Okay. And when Ben Simmons takes his 5-minute break, 3-minute break in the playoffs, that's when Kyle Lowry can take over. Yeah. So either one of them will always be on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
And if there's a stretch where it's Kyle Lowry, Shake Milton, and you can maybe get like Seth Curry maybe, or you maybe get a guy like Terrence Ross with Tobias and then Dwight Howard, I feel like that second rotation, that would be an insane second rotation to have.
That would be better than not most, but maybe some of the lottery picks starting lineups.
And you know who's excluded from that second rotation? Furkan Korkmaz, Danny Green, Mike Scott. Just think about that. If you actually went all out to win the championship this year, your second rotation can be a Kyle Lowry, Seth Curry, Terrence Ross, Tobias Harris, Dwight Howard.
Now, if we were to do that and we couldn't get any of those people back who we got during the trade, do you think we put all our eggs in one basket? And if we lost, what would you expect the next year?
You got to rebuild in free agency. You got to rebuild. You're probably not gonna have any draft picks.
No.
So you have to have the faith that Joe can keep it up. You have to have the faith that Ben Simmons can maybe develop that jump shot, just just build on with what he's doing because he has built as a basketball player. This is his best season by far. He's showing the most. By far. He is.
Offensively.
You could give me all those looks all you want.
Offensively? What? Nah, 2 years ago he was better. He was better 2 years ago.
I'm just saying if you do go all out and you do get Kyle Lowry, you do get Terrence Ross, and you end up losing, whether it's the finals or the Eastern Conference Finals, I don't know. I think you run it back. I think you try and run it back. Try everything you can to try and re-sign Kyle Lowry. It really depends how it fits, but I don't know.
I just don't want another whole like Al Horford deal. Like, you know what I mean? I don't want that whole another this player doesn't fit, that player doesn't fit. We just gotta Brett Brown wasn't the smartest coach in the NBA, but wasn't the worst coach. But you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
You have to give up on Danny Green. Yep.
Wow.
Could maybe close it out with a little bit, finish with the Flyers. I'm sad. the Flyers really got me through this fall with what they did in the NHL bubble last year. And it would be a real damn shame if they don't get one of those top 4 spots in the East.
Yeah.
So they really
but it's very compacted. It's a very, very good
division. Yeah. But I trust Carter Hart in the big games. I feel like he's that it factor. You can't give up on him. I trust AV to make the gutsy moves, readjust the lineups. Claude Giroux's come up big lately especially since he came back from COVID. He's having a quiet year this year, but a good year. Good year, but it's been quiet. Like you haven't really heard about it. I want Wayne Simmons, and I want a guy like Chalmerson. You need another veteran defenseman. And like I said in the beginning of the show, get rid of Sanheim, get rid of Myers, get rid of one of them to get a veteran defender.
Yeah, I agree. There's a few guys in that we could trade for from the teams that aren't contending. I could already see this year, but they really do need a defenseman though, like a high impact defensive player. And it's easier to trade in the NHL, I think.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to trade in the NHL. So
you could throw around a 4th round pick or a conditional 2nd, 3rd round pick and get a solid guy. Like last year, they got Derek Grant and Nate Thompson. They were solid pickups. They weren't defensemen, and the lack of physicality on the back line that really hurt us against the Islanders.
Yeah,
and it's kind of hurting us right now.
We're young and quick, score goals, but we've been taking a step back from the defense from last year.
Yeah,
you lost out on some guys. One of them retired.
Niskanen. Yeah,
Niskanen. Yeah,
it's honestly unacceptable. I like how you brought that up because they lost Niskanen and they thought they could replace Niskanen with Eric Gustafsson, who has no business being. He's a 7th. He's a 7th defenseman. That's what he is.
Yeah.
And Gostisbehere, he's playing well this year. He really is. I bashed him a little bit a couple episodes ago, but he's playing well. He's still a turnover machine, but he's making it up on the offensive side of the ice.
Yep.
But
we just got to focus more on the defense part than the offense part. Well, like I said earlier, I mean, there's some games where they've been scoring only a point, 2 points, or not even any points. They can't lose shutouts, but you just got to find that balance between the two.
Yeah.
And I think that's what they've been struggling with, and that's why they really need to trade for somebody. And they need to trade for a bruiser, and that's just important. Hey, bring someone back like Wayne Simmons. Fans would love it. Yeah. I think it's like a win-win situation, honestly.
I just don't know if the Maple Leafs will do it because the Maple Leafs are first in their Canadian division right now.
Yeah, just wait. They're always first, and then they end up not making it or something like that.
So. Well, yeah, there's another team that's young and fast on the offensive side of the puck, but they give up 4 goals a game.
Yeah,
5 goals a game.
Their situation is kind of like the Nets situation. They have a lot of great players, but their defense it's so bad.
Nylander, Austin Matthews.
Austin Matthews didn't play last season, right? I don't think he played last season.
Yeah, I think he got hurt. I'm not sure. But a guy that I really, really wanted them to go after in free agency, I know he's not the defensive defenseman, but he's a two-way defensive guy, and that's Torrey Krug. I really wanted them to try and go after Krug, but they let the Blues get him. I feel like that would have been a huge addition to this team. I feel like he really would have helped out.
There's still moves to make. There's still plenty of time. It's kind of still early in the season, but every game, like this is where the regular season does matter. And the regular season does matter more than like with the team we have right now and the division that we're in right now. This ain't no NBA East. This is like the West for like the NBA. If you were to compare this to the terms, this is the West.
Yeah. And
like
I think
every game is very important to your playoff run.
Yeah, I think they have gone. I don't even know. But against the higher teams like the Bruins, the Penguins, the Capitals, all those teams, I think they're slightly under 500 maybe against all those teams. They need to start winning those close games. Last year they were winning those games against those tough teams. This year they're not necessarily winning. They haven't beat Boston. I think they beat Boston once.
Yeah.
They're slipping up against the Penguins.
Washington's always a 50-50. What else? Penguins always playing tough.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's they gotta make something up.
Yeah. And Nolan Patrick, he needs to step up the game. He needs to play
quiet.
like this. Yeah.
Very quiet.
I'm not necessarily worried about the offense as much as I am worried about the defense.
Mm-hmm.
You need to
again, everybody can blame Carter Hart, everybody can blame all this, but no one wants to talk about the defense. That's what the biggest thing is. Because if you have bad defense, you're like, I was kind of getting scared early in the year because the Flyers were outshot. I think there was like 40-some shots on Carter Hart like the first few games. That's a lot more than it should be. That is a lot more than it should be. And I give a lot of credit to him and Moose because they're getting 40 shots slapped at them. And of course, you're going to think this and that about the goalie if they're giving up that many goals. But like the average per saves, like the saves and then the goals, like it's still like what the average is. I mean,
yeah.
So,
yeah. Look, it's been a fun night. We need to start being a little bit more optimistic with our Eagles. The poll for the night was we got to be a little bit more optimistic. I agree with it 100%. I think the offense is going to be high-powered come August, coming from a lot of people. I'm just going to be ahead of it by saying it right now. Sixers need to do whatever they can to get Kyle Lowry. They need to do whatever they can to get a high-volume scorer off the bench. They need both of them. They need to go all out to win this championship.
They do.
The Flyers, they need to get a defenseman, like we just said, and they need to get a bruiser. And the Phillies. We really talk about the Phillies tonight. We'll talk about them a little bit more next week on the show. It looks like Odubel Herrera is going to be starting in center field. We'll dive into that next week. We'll talk about that.
Injury.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Roman Quinn is hopefully 5,000 miles away from Citizens Bank Park.
Yeah, dude, he's probably in a hospital right now.
But it looks like Odubel Herrera is going to start. We'll talk about that more next week. We will talk about the Eagles a little bit more, and come next week, I think the Sixers will be 2 games in to the second half of the season. So
hopefully Embiid and Simmons are playing.
Yeah.
We'll see.
All right, it's been fun. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you again next Monday.
Peace.